What is up, YouTube? We are here today at Lake Julian Disc Golf Course, just outside Asheville, North Carolina. We are going to be trying out working on my mental game challenge today. Been at work for 10 hours and my legs are pretty shot. So we're gonna be trying to make sure putts go in, discs go where they want to go. We're gonna play the back 9. It's a little bit easier to film, not quite so much in the trees, and we'll see how this works. See you at hole 10. Hole 10 is probably around 250-ish feet, maybe a little bit less. I'm gonna go up this fairway on the left and then try to hook forehand around just a little bit to the right. You can kind of see in between some of those trees there's the basket. These are the first shots I'm throwing today, so let's try to stay strong, keep that mental game strong. Around the edge of circle, it's going to be a good time to warm up that putt. We're already starting off a little on the rough side here. We do have a little bit of a weird stance. I'm going to try to get my legs into it as much as possible, but they are a little burnt out already. So I'm going to really make sure I focus on that putting stroke and make sure the disc is spinning out. Felt pretty good for the first putt of the day. Hole 11, or our second hole. It's an alternate pin position. The basket's kind of behind that leftmost pole. I'm going to try to treat those as trees, use it as a gap. I'm going to throw a fairway, just pump it up there, get a little bit of a hyzer flip. Hopefully I can get a good clean release on the first backhand. Well, super clean release. Pulled it a little bit right into that middle pole. Hit this first pole, dropped really short. Can't really run it from here, but I'm gonna try to throw a spiky forehand up shot. Maybe I can put it in, but probably just put it close. That was about 3 inches from actually going in. I like it. Definitely giving the weird putting stances a go for today. Still one down. This one's a forehand hole down by the water. I have thrown backhand a couple of times in the past. It's really hard to keep the disc from going too far and going deep. I have put a disc in the water there. So we're gonna try that forehand play, let it swing a little bit more. Hopefully we can keep it close. Well, not when we throw it that high. Definitely get a tree branch dropped really short. Here's the drive, try to swing it out, swing it back in with the forehand. There's kind of a steep drop off right behind the basket, so I don't want to go that far. Yeah, really close. And there's our lie. Here's the putter. There's the basket. Look like crap, but it's in. Hole 13 is a par 4. It's going to be an up shot through that gap and then another shot up to the basket. I'm going to not try to go too big on this one because you can easily kick either OB across the road or kick way off into the woods. Just going to try to throw a fairway off the tee. Try to get through the main gap and then go for the upshot from there. Yep, dead center, perfectly in the middle of the fairway. Didn't throw it there, hit a tree, kicked back, but there are no pictures on the scorecard. So what I'm really focusing on with this round is trying to make sure that my mental game is going to be focused enough. that's why I'm trying to stay positive. Didn't hit exactly the line that I wanted, but I kicked a tree and ended up back in bounds, or back right where I wanted to be, right in the middle of the fairway. So I'm trying to be a lot more positive while I'm playing. That goes for the putting as well. Want to make sure that even if I were to make a bad putt, I can still stay focused and make sure I make the next one. So that's what we're working on today. And oh yeah, really great spot in the middle of the fairway. So the basket's right up there, disc is here in the middle of the fairway. Want to throw something nice and soft, but I want to make sure it's not going to go too far right, because there is a drop off and OB down the right side. So I'm going to try to throw a nice soft flexing anhyzer with a putter. Or just throw it dead straight. It still works. So even when I'm fresh, this is one of the putts that I do struggle with the most, is the downhill putt. When I'm putting uphill, I just putt higher, putt harder, aim at the band, right? When I'm putting downhill, I don't really know what I'm doing, don't really know how to aim. So let's try to make sure we don't throw this one too nose down and it drops too low. Let's try to put this one in. And that is 2 down. Now I know the fairway might look a little rough on this hole. They are doing construction on this course. I think they're trying to make it a 24 hole instead of a 18 hole course. Could be wrong on the exact number of holes, but they're working on adding new holes, so there's a lot of construction going on, and it just rained like 30 minutes ago, so it's still pretty wet. What I'm going to do here is throw a mid-range, try to put it on some hyzer out over the road, make sure it can swing back in, maybe give it an ace chance. The wet grass really gobbled it up, but I should be right around the edge of circle. It's a chance to make another downhill kind of tester putt. All right, putting you guys right behind the basket to make myself not miss. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know if we could call Lake Julian disc golf course without a lake. Now with the recent rains, lake level's a little bit higher. This hole is big hyzer, and the basket that you see out there is the basket for hole 1. We're going to the one that's the left of that. There is OB long and left. There's OB creek short, and obviously all of this lake is OB. I'm gonna be throwing, yes, I do not bag it ironically, my champion groove, because for me it fills the slot of a Firebird. I'm gonna throw it out, give it plenty of height to get over the water, and then let it hyzer and crash back down to the left. It's either a little bit inside or it's in the creek. It's time to go find out. Alrighty, there's the disc. So it is definitely OB, definitely in that creek. The drop zone is right there in between those two flags, and you have the option to play from either the drop zone or where it went out. And since this tree is kind of in my way, I'm gonna play from the drop zone. Lightweight flippy putter, try to give it a floaty bid. Don't know if that's gonna work. Looks like that's 2 OB strokes, so I will be throwing 5 from the creek. There isn't really a good way to frame up from behind the shot, so you guys just watch for where the bright red disc goes. Parked for a double bogey. Now remember how I said I'm working on my mental game? Yes, that's terrible. Didn't really mean to get a double bogey, but we were already 3 down, so we're still under par. What we have here is another par 4, and we have another par 4 is hole 18. So this one I'm actually going to play for par for the most part, unless the drive is really good. And then hole 18 we're going to play for birdie. So I'm going to throw my ray way out the gap. The basket you see is the basket for hole 8. So we're going to try to go over or around that, and then do a couple more pitch ups and hopefully get a par from there. Yeah, it might have been a little bit too turned, went a little bit too far right, but what that means is we're definitely playing it for par, because I don't think I can birdie from there. I'm gonna have to throw a forehand here because I want to be as far left as possible to make the next up shot a little bit easier, because there is OB right and long. There is reeds with a lot of soggy water. So I want to make sure I have the ability to throw backhand into the green instead of forehand, so I don't skip over right into the reeds. So we're going to try to pitch out, keep this left, and then have ability for a forehand or a backhand. So the basket's down this alleyway. I'm going to try to miss all of this and throw the backhand, keeping it left so I don't end up in the reeds. Hopefully we end up with a putt. Looks like we're gonna have another OB stroke from the road that I forgot. If I put it too high, it's going in the road. Yep, that's my fault. Pretty long range putt from about here to there to save a bogey. Now, here's where that mental strength comes in again. Yes, we're over par. We're 1 over par. Yes, I missed a long putt. However, I wasn't expecting to necessarily make that putt because it was about 45, 50 feet outside the circle, and it was a downhill putt. So I can't be messed up about it. I can't be too mad about it because I wasn't really planning on making it necessarily all the way in anyways. So let's make sure we throw a couple more good shots and hopefully we can get under par from here. That you see is for hole 9, not hole 17. 17's way up and around the corner to the right. You can try to throw a forehand, flip up forehand. Hopefully I get enough distance with this one, but I'm a little tired. We're gonna see how it goes. So it is just outside circle, a little bit uphill. Let's try to make a birdie here, birdie on the next hole. That'll put us 1 down for the 9 holes. Here's hoping. I was actually pleasantly surprised by how far that went. Unfortunately, it did go too far past the basket, but that means that using proper putting form, even when I'm super tired, like at the end of a tournament or at the end of a 2-round tournament, I still have some power left in these legs. So, good news, bad news. Tried and true method, put the camera right behind the basket so that you don't miss and hit the camera. Well, that definitely could have gone better. And here's where that mental stamina starts to come in. Missed the first putt, rolled away. Didn't really give myself time to set up and be ready for the next putt. Left it a little bit short because I was like, I don't want to hit too high again. Left it short. I need to just focus on what's going on here and focus on that proper release, proper form, and let's get birdies. All right, unless we ace this hole, we cannot even be even through the round. I cannot throw that far. But this hole is the last hole, hole 18. It's down there to the left of the two big power line poles, tucked into the woods on the right. It's par 4. Let's just try to make a birdie on the last hole so we feel confident about the day. Well, it was super low, but because it is a par 4, it leaves me a lot of wiggle room. Still gonna be an upshot, but I already knew that. Let's go make a birdie. You can't really see the basket, but it's behind that really thick black tree in the background. This messes up in hole 16, but it's gonna help us here because it was a little bit too glidey. So what we want for this uphill shot. Honestly, should have been saying listen for chains because that was really close. I think if Simon could have seen that throw from his sky god, he would have been proud. Let's try to close this one off strong. Gave it a chance on the throw in. Now let's give it a chance on the birdie. So, when you're struggling with your mental game, go back to what you know, go back to the form that you've practiced and you can do over and over and over again in your backyard, in your basement. Just do that. Until next time, YouTube, closing up.